Thank you for coming back, or if this is your first time here, welcome. I'm happy to have you here. This channel is all about being as natural and organic as possible, keeping those chemicals away from us so we can have the healthiest life that we can lead. Those are my preferences. However, it does not stop you from doing the same things, just with other type of products. But the products that I will show you will be natural and organic based. And I'm so excited, just in case you want to go organic, or you're starting, or that's what you're all about and you are hoping for a different alternative than conventional methods. I'm here to show you the different things that you need to start indoors and have an organic, natural garden. It doesn't take much, but these things are very vital, and that we need them in order to have a successful growing season. Make sure you hit that thumbs up and subscribe so that you can see more of my videos, which you need to press that bell buttons to get notifications, which they are coming. I hope that you do grow with me. I am trying my best to pump these out in a timely manner so you would have time either that weekend or the next weekend, while still being in the same time as me of growing, to go ahead and go to the store and get the materials that you need. 50 degrees is the minimum temperature for like tomatoes, peppers, pretty much any of the plants that are going to give you fruit. Leafy greens are the cold greens. You know, you can they can take temperatures because they're not fruiting really for you, like a tomato does and peppers do. Cucumbers, the plants are giving you something other than the leaves, so those tend to need warmer temperatures, and so they have to stay inside. And unless you live in someplace outside of my zone 6 where it is warm a lot of the time, you may be able to just put them directly in the ground. Every area is different, so make sure you do check what zone you're in your area, and when your frost dates are. These are all important as to when you can start gardening outside. Growing zone information below, so you can easily go ahead and check out what zone you are in if you are a beginner. But for the majority of people, at some point you start inside, because they take a while to grow. And if you just directly planted them outside, you can miss the whole season with the time that they need to grow to fruit for you. So you start them inside so that by the time it's warm, they can go out there. They have the length of time of summer and those months to give you the fruit at the end. For this video, the materials that are needed are the main things that you need to have a successful growing seedlings from seed indoors that you can plant yourself outside. No nursery required. You can get the seeds at your Walmart. If you're looking more for organic ones, you know, you may have to go to a nursery depending on your area, but you can start from seed where you find seeds at. If you know of a Meyer or their type of brands, you can get them from a Meyer, and you can get them from Home Depot, Lowe's, any place with a garden center. You don't have to find a nursery with all the plants that you want to have at that time. You can do it yourself. And the first 5 things that you'll need, of course, is the seed starter to give your baby seeds, the nutrition that it needs to grow and the environment that it needs to germinate in. Of course, one that we all should have, as long as you're paying your water bill, is some water. So you will need this, dirt, the seed to put in the dirt, to water them with water, and then the things that you will need to put them in are your seed starter containers, or your pots if they're not going to be moved and they're going to stay in your home. But you also need a heating pad. Heating pads are for the types of vegetables that need more warmth to germinate. And then the other one is light bulbs. You do need to mimic the sun. You can't just have the lights from a window. So mimicking the sun with light bulbs, I will explain that, as well as something to hold your light bulb and something that will make sure that this contraption is able to go on to shine over as the sun onto your plants. And then of course, once you're done with inside, you'll have to train your seedlings to go in and out of the house. To train your seedlings slowly to the actual sun. You don't want them to get sunburned like you would at a beach when you haven't gone in a while, or because the sun is powerful. And if a plant has not been out there to experience those rays, you most definitely have to start to show them what that is. And after a while, they'll be able to survive outside as if you planted them outside. When you're starting seeds indoors, I've tried so many different container mixes or seed starter. So these are the things that I use. You'll see them in my videos, they change, but the one thing that I have just stuck to caring about is organics. As long as it says organic on there, so that we're practicing in our home being as natural and organic as possible, then that's all that matters to me. I've used this up, of course, in the video, and I've used up another brand as well. Sometimes I mix them. Right now I am in a testing it out phase of which brand maybe that I do prefer more. The brand that I did just show you, it is really dark and rich in color, so I feel real good about it. But sometimes if I'm on a budget, as I start to get a little carried away with the green babies, if I'm on a budget, I will get a bigger bag, and that bag usually isn't as dark as that brand. Alright, moving on. If you've seen my other videos, or video with the cold tolerant vegetables, I showed you different things that you could put your vegetables in to grow them from seed at the beginning. But for this one, this is a particular brand, but any type of seed starting tray like this comes with a flat with holes in them that can actually be separated, which I've done with the ones that you've seen. They were actually just these taken apart, but right now it's whole. But they usually come with the bottom tray, which you fill with water, and then you put them on top. That's what catches the water. And then you have lids to get a good ecosystem going. You know, when you're trying to germinate, it's good to kind of, but this is what I like to start doing my indoor seed start, so that when I do have them under the light, I can have like a complete put together section, so that I can know how many grow lights I need to cover this bed. I don't separate the ones inside until, you know, I'm potting them up and they're bigger and they need their different spaces. But when they're all just babies, I want the lights to be able to be at a close enough length to the babies when they all start hatching. Wow, I'm getting real deep with the baby talk. They're not chickens. So with the seedlings, you do want the lights to be like, you know, as close as you can. Sometimes I get it a little higher just because like cucumbers will grow a lot faster and lettuces will be really tiny. Try to remember that plants need lumens and Calvin. That's what they're getting from the sun's rays. And when you go to look for light bulbs, you want something that has enough lumens and Calvin. And the type of light bulbs that will have it will say daylight, because you're trying to replicate daylight, the sun. I love this brand. I found it at Walmart, and for an amazing price when I'm trying to like save on the expensive grow lights, because the ones that you see online, they can get pretty pricey instead of trying to, you know, mimic it yourself for a cheaper price, and everybody likes the deal. Not all daylight lights have enough lumen and Kelvin. So the type of numbers you want to look for to know that you're getting enough daylight for indoor plants, you can usually find down here, they will say lumens. With these, you'll find that lumens are on here in the front of this one, and you can find the Kelvins with a K. It doesn't really say Kelvin. But when we're looking for lumens, I'm going to stay at the lowest, about 1500 lumens. So right now the one that I have it's the only one I could find at Walmart for the price, and it was 1650 lumens. And then for daylight, the Kelvin portion, you want that to be 4500 Kelvin, and then go as high as 6000 Kelvin. But this one has 5000 Kelvin going on. So we're in the range of it helping grow your plants inside. So stick within that range because they vary, and you get 4 of them. This bulb holder, so for me, these are cheap as well. You could get these at Walmart, or you can order them on Amazon. I've done both. On Amazon, I found one that's in a 2-pack. I will list that down below. But these are as simple as placing them in this, and then plugging it in to your nearest outlet. These have this retractable where you could put it on things. So like, as long as it's heavy and can hold the weight of this, there is like no end to where you could place this. You can clamp it on here, and then you can adjust this. It moves around. So like, I pretty much do this through their whole growth. When I wake up, I turn on the lights. When I go to sleep, I turn off the lights. I don't make it this, oh, I gotta check for, you know, that it's been 16 hours and stuff like that, unless you have a situation where you don't have a way to put them near a window where they're starting to get light. If you've got them in like your basement, or where you really laid out a room and it's not got the best like window, and you kind of do need to rely on your bulbs, then yeah, you're gonna have to try to make sure you're getting up to turn on the light and then to turn off the light. But they should be good about when you can get up, turn them on, and when you go to sleep. You also want to have a fan. A fan in the house is vital. You want to be able to circulate the air and give them the type of fresh air. At the same time, you want to mimic wind. You want your seedlings, stems and leaves to be able to handle being blown around, so that they're not shocked once they go outside and you have a windy day and they just break. Or like, you do have to, it's just so crazy how nature works and how certain little things work. And if you're going to try to mimic it and be a scientist about it out of their natural habitats, you gotta remember the certain things that would happen and in life itself. Another item that you don't need, but it does depend on the type of vegetables. If you have vegetables that need really warm germination, in order to like really start, they really need like a humid, warm temperature, then you will need a heating pad to get those to germinate. Not necessarily quicker, but to germinate at all. Some people's temperatures in their homes, depending on where you are, will do the trick. But if you don't know if your home can necessarily do the trick, this is a good thing to have, which is a heating pad. And particularly, I need them for peppers. Peppers, in my experience, won't do anything unless I have a heating pad underneath them. Sometimes I've even left my hair dryer on around it to keep heat, but that's a lot of energy, and that's how desperate I am. And I need peppers, bell peppers, jalapeno peppers, sweet peppers, pretty much any pepper. There's any strand of pepper. Any strand of pepper has needed a heating pad. And since peppers are big in this house, and for my family that I grow them for, I have these, and I got these on Amazon in a 2-pack. I saw a lot of brands on Amazon, and there was only one that had a 2-pack for the price of one. I will link it down below. I can't say if it's the same price by now because I've had these for a few years now. It's great to be consistent with your plants, with their environment that they need. The pepper plants need warm weather around them, so I'm trying to imitate an environment of warm weather, and to turn it off at night or to conserve energy, that's not what's helping the plant feel its best. I leave a heating pad on 24 hours until I'm starting to acclimate it outside and in back indoors to get it used to the sunlight, which you'll learn in the next video. What to do after you have your seedlings and they've grown indoors and it's time to start giving them their individual nutrition and taking care of them and getting them prepared to get out the house and start growing up so that they can give back to you. Okay, let's start with our seed starter, and then we're going to grab boiling water so that we can kill all the little fungus gnat eggs that may be left in the dirt. Remember to let the dirt cool before usage. Now let's get started. This next section is all about the seeds. You want to make sure that you pack down the dirt. Normally you'll need to add more dirt to make sure that the bottom layer is fully packed down before adding your seeds. once you've added your seeds, the top layer that goes over them, you don't want to pack down. You'll want this to remain loose. I do both bunching onions and I also do my own onion bulb starts. The bunching onions are quick, but to do bulbs from seed takes a much longer process. Depending on your area, you will need to figure out if you can use long day onions or short day onions. In Zone 6 in Michigan, where I am, I use long day. No matter which day you do have, the best part about onions is that you can spread a bunch of seeds in one container and then you can separate them later so that they become their own individual bulb. I also love that you can put onion starts in pretty much anything. I love reusing all my foil pans after making any type of dessert or any type of food, loaves. I just love reusing an aluminum pan for my onion starts. No matter what container you do use, you will always need to have the necessary holes at the bottom for the proper drainage. yes, thank you for coming. Thank you. I hope you do support and push that like button, and also subscribe so that you can see the next steps as you grow with me. I try to put these out as quickly as possible to meet the growing season, and if I don't, I do apologize, but I hope that with it being out now and available, that even next year you could grow with me by visiting when you're able to in your growing zone. Of course, check out my video about cold tolerant plants. If you're not a beginner and you're just here to check out a different method, this is the way I do it. It's successful the way I do it, and I'm sure if you have another method yourself, it's successful, and I would love if you share in the comments below the things that you do, what you're gonna try, anything garden related, or what you love to make from the different produce that we're surrounded with. That's why we do this, to have yummy food, to nourish the body, and I'm all for nourishing the body as organic and natural as possible. So that's the way I will be showing you things. You can of course mimic these ways in what you have, but I do hope you try these methods so that you can live as naturally and organically as you could as well. I try to also find things that are budget friendly. Sometimes you can't avoid it, but I don't try to just go for the most expensive thing. I am looking for a bargain as well, which is what you'll see in the way I do my grow lights. I try to do the budget friendly way because grow lights can get pretty expensive. Even the stands and everything that you would need to set up can get expensive. So the way I do it is a whatever you got type of way. Whatever you can clamp it onto, because you can use anything with weight. You can weight things down with, if you have an empty glass bottle, weigh it down with some sand or anything, rocks that you can, in a big jug, even in a milk jug. You can fill that up with rocks or sand and clamp this light onto it, and it will be sturdy, and then you can move that around however you want, instead of being contained to a light fixture setup for growing inside. That's not a bad thing either. If you have money for it, the space for it, please buy that too. Those methods also work with my methods. I'm just trying to show you the way I do it, and it's a little cost efficient if you are on a budget and you want to start now. I hope that you are able to obtain these in a timely manner so you can get started, and it does take a little bit of money. So the thing that you're going to put them in, the dirt that you're going to put in it, the seeds that you're going to grow, paying the water bill so you have water, or I guess going to your nearest lake, the light bulbs to shine and mimic the sun, the heat for certain plants such as peppers to imitate the environment of warmth, and that should do it.